4:40 p.m. A cutter flicks away a cigarette, which lands in a scrap bin. It ignites the fabric inside and flames roar. The entire 8th floor is ablaze. 4:41 p.m. The 8th floor manager phones up to the 10th floor to warn of the fire, but the 9th floor remains unaware. The fire rages, and workers on the 8th floor dash for the exits. Many head for the narrow Green Street stairway, which is already filling with smoke. The rest cram onto the only exterior fire escape, but it can't hold their weight. The fire escape buckles, and dozens plunge to the cold, hard concrete below. There are no survivors. Back inside the building, the remaining women pack into the elevator, but there's not enough room, and the heat is already distorting the metal. 4:42 p.m. On the 9th floor, panic erupts as flames burst through the windows. Workers sprint to the narrow Washington Place stairway, but it's locked. Some women attempt to slide down the elevator cables, but their hands lose grip, and they fall all the way to the bottom. 4:43 p.m. The fire engulfs the 9th floor. Flames climb upward to the 10th floor, where the company's owners, Max Blank and Isaac Harris, are present. They flee to the roof and escape to an adjacent building. 4:44 p.m. On the 9th floor, workers pile against locked doors, desperately seeking an escape. Many head for the windows and leap. They smash into the pavement below as horrified onlookers scream. 4:46 p.m. Firefighters arrive, but their ladders can only reach the 7th floor. The fire is on the 8th. They attempt to catch the falling workers with nets, but the impact is too strong, and fire hoses can do little but cool the exterior. 5:15 p.m. Within half an hour, it's over. The inferno is extinguished, but in 35 minutes, it claimed 146 lives. The scene is horrifying. Lifeless bodies are carried out of the building, charred beyond recognition. The victims are young women, some as young as 14. Most were recent immigrants from Italy and Eastern Europe. In the days that follow, grief and outrage consume New York. Nearly 400,000 people gathered for a mass funeral march in the city. The mourners walked in silence, expressing their grief and demanding action. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. The factory owners, Max Blank and Isaac Harris, were charged with manslaughter for locking the doors and preventing the workers from escaping. Several workers testified about the locked doors and hazardous conditions, but the defense attorney planted doubt in the jurors' minds. He argued that the owners didn't know the doors were locked, and on December 27, 1911, the jury announced a verdict of not guilty. Blank and Harris walked free, leaving public fury and the victims' families devastated. What makes things worse is that just 2 years earlier, activist Clara Lemlich led a strike warning of these unsafe conditions, but very little was done. But the Triangle Shirtwaist fire represented the final straw. In the aftermath of the fire, public outcry led to the formation of the Factory Investigating Commission, which uncovered hundreds of unsafe factories across New York City. Over 30 new labor and safety laws were enacted, including the Sullivan-Hoey Fire Prevention Law, which mandated fire drills, sprinklers, and wider fire escapes. Other reforms followed, including better wages, reduced work hours, and improved working conditions for women in the factories. The International Ladies Garment Workers Union also rose to power, helping catapult a nationwide labor movement that paved the way for sweeping reforms like Roosevelt's New Deal and the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. Today, if you walk by the original site of the fire, you'll see a steel ribbon that drapes down the side of the brown building, splitting into 2 horizontal bands above the street. These bands bear the names and ages of the 146 victims who died in the 1911 fire. Through a reflective panel, visitors can see the sky through the letters and numbers, remembering the young lives tragically lost. Soon, a vertical ribbon will be added to reach up to the 9th floor, marking the height from which many victims were trapped and leaped to escape the fire. The tragedy of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire is a somber reminder of how negligence and greed can turn corporate ambition into a death sentence for workers. Hey guys, this is Nick from The Curious New Yorker, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching.